Well, hello guys. Hope you're having a great day. Good to be with you today and for an afternoon session. So I'll wait to say hello to a few folks here today. And always good to say hello, have our little bit of our friendly roll call. And Jen from Cape Breton, you're numero uno today. And Kevin, you're number 2. Nativity, good afternoon. Andrea from Niagara Falls, and Rosa Montreal, and Cecilia from Sudbury. And we appreciate you. Hi, Dan, how are you? And Bonnie, Little Britain, and Jeanette from our staff is on. Wendy from Markham. Catherine from Parksville, British Columbia. Connie, how are you, Connie? Helena, Cambridge. Sandra. And Lynn, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Dubraka, Mississauga. Vince, how are you? And Alma, Doreen, Newfoundland. And Mary Jane from Connecticut. Rebecca, long time no see, from Callender. And William from Markham. Terry, Prince Rupert. We appreciate you guys. Laura, hello. Good afternoon. I know, I was in the sun today. Rosy cheeks. Deanna, Sue from Bolton. Shirley. And Mara. And Yvonne. Nice to have you with us. And Leela is saying it's cold in Verner. Sandy. And Yolande. I was waiting on you, Yolande. Bruno, North Bay. Lynn from Verner. Don't blink or you'll miss Verner. Troy, Dr. Troy from Newfoundland. Darlene, Karen, Indianapolis. And Donna, Lynn. We appreciate you guys. Rhoda, Labrador. Brenda, Campbell River. Cindy, snowy Ottawa. Okay, Karen, how are you? Okay, I think I'm going to do a little bit more of a hodgepodge today. A couple of studies that came out, and I thought maybe I would pontificate on them. One of them here was kind of interesting. It's a case history written up in a medical journal, but a case history of a man with advanced lung disease, lung cancer. 4th stage, very advanced, prognosis very poor. And what this guy did, he only did one thing that really changed. He decided, I think he probably seen a study or two that you and I have shown you, and what DHA does to tumor, DHA omega-3. What it does to tumors in a study, 14 days. Anyways, this was a case history written up in a medical journal. So it was well established that the only thing that this fella did was that he took very high doses, 15 grams of omega-3 a day. Okay? Now I take probably, let me just see. I take almost 10 grams a day. And very high DHA. And I do that for my brain. I do that for my eyes. I do that for my heart. I do that for my joints. DHA, there's nothing that lubricates like DHA. And remember, your brain is made up of DHA. So this study goes on to say that he was followed closely by his oncologist, and to their amazement, just with taking a very high dose DHA, he was able to shrink the tumors and his cancer has gone into remission. Now, again, like I told you, I read this in a medical journal. And we talked about this last week in cancer, and what would I do? What should you do? I can only tell you what I would do. I certainly would do what this guy did. And, you know, you wonder if there's going to be any long-term studies on DHA in terms of cancer, but I wouldn't wait to see what those results would be. I mean, we know, you can actually Google this if you want, the response of Tumours, and maybe we could post it again on our private Facebook group afterwards, what happens to tumors when they're exposed to high DHA omega-3. Okay? Very specific. And it was kind of interesting. What would I do? Well, here's some things that I would do immediately. Let's say I got the diagnosis. You got the big CA, the big C word, cancer. What would I do? No more sugar. No more sugar. High DHA. And this guy was taking 15 grams a day. Okay? I would be taking high DHA. I would be trying to get my vitamin D levels between 80 and 100 in the USA numbers, and between probably around 200 to 250 in Canadian vitamin D numbers. So you want to get your serum vitamin D levels up. You want to get your high DHA omega-3 levels up. You want to cut out sugar. You want to knock down estrogen. When you cut out sugar, first of all, you cut out sugar and carbs, you're cutting out insulin. Remember the growth hormones, okay? Here's the growth hormone. What makes things grow? Insulin is a growth hormone. Estrogen is a growth hormone. Knock it down. Cortisol, it's not really a growth hormone, but it pours gasoline. It pours gasoline on the fire of cancer. I've always said that. There's always a component in cancer that has to do with stress, trauma, and why people are so much more susceptible to cancer, because cortisol is a major diversion and distraction to your immune system. So you want to lower your cortisol. You want to lower your insulin. You want to lower your estrogen. And men and women need to lower estrogen. And one way to do that in a man is to get their testosterone up. Vitamin D gets your testosterone up. The sun gets your testosterone up. Lowering insulin gets your testosterone up, men. Block estrogen. We got way too much estrogen. We live in an estrogen crazy world. If I felt good enough, I would be doing vitamin E too. Exercise. Vitamin E is essential. I would be doing lots of vitamin S, steak. Why? Because cancer hates steak. It hates it. Because cancer is a renegade cell. I showed you that cell last week. I actually drew a little cell. And remember, you had 7 times more of a little bar's antennas for insulin on a cancer cell. 7 times more than an ordinary cell. They're looking for sugar. They're looking for crappy carbohydrates. So those are the things for sure I would be doing. Okay? And listen to this study. It just came out, and it goes along with, we're talking about cancer, but look what this one says. And vitamin D protects against melanoma. What? Vitamin D, let me repeat it, protects a person against melanoma. Now, remember, there are 3 types of cancer, skin cancer generally, okay? There's more than that, but there's 3 main ones. You have basal cell carcinoma, okay? You have squamous cell carcinoma, and then you have melanoma. Melanoma being the deadly cancer. The other 2, basal cell never really is deadly. Squamous cell, maybe on a rare occasion, could turn cancerous, not cancerous, but turn deadly, but it's very rare. It's melanoma that is the deadly cancer. Isn't it interesting? Here's a study in a major journal that says vitamin D helps to protect you against melanoma. Do you know how many millions and millions of people have stayed out of the sun because they were scared of skin cancer? Do you know how many millions of people have done that? Million, even today. They don't want to get sun because of skin cancer. But isn't it interesting that the deadly skin cancer of melanoma is helped by increasing your levels of vitamin D? Who knew? Who knew? I think I've been telling you that for a long time. And guys, like I said, when it comes to cancer, okay, you don't want normal levels of vitamin D. You want optimized levels of vitamin D. You want to optimize those levels. So in the United States, you want nothing below 60. 60 to 80, I even like it at 100. In Canada, now you're looking at a little bit different numbers. It's 2.5 times more than what you see in the United States numbers. So that would be, 180, 200. I like 200 to 250 when you're fighting cancer. So get a blood test to find out where your serum vitamin D levels. Folks, this is incredible research. The sun does not cause melanoma. Melanoma is caused by a lack of sun. And here's me, okay? I'm going to give you my opinion. Here's what I think happens, okay? Here's what I think happens. When people insist on using sunscreen and sun blockers, they are increasing their risk of cancer, skin cancer, and especially the melanoma. Why do I say that? Here's the reason I say it. Because people, first of all, that work indoors are much more susceptible to getting melanoma. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is that when you put chemicals on your skin, I've always said this. I go back to my high school days. Don't mix chemicals and then put on the Bunsen burner. You know what I mean? Like, you don't fool around in the chemistry lab, but I did. And then when I put the heat to it, we just about lost our laboratory in high school. And what I'm saying is when you add heat, the sun, to chemicals on the skin, that is bad news. I've been consistent about that. So I think that the use of sunscreens has the reason that we have much, much more melanoma today. Okay, much more melanoma today. That's all I wanted to talk about in terms of the vitamin D, the study. I wanted to talk about that high DHA study in cancer. What would I do? And, you know, if you or a loved one ever want, we're just happy to give you a little bit of a protocol. Whether you are getting chemotherapy or, or radiation, even if you're getting those things, you still want to build up your immune system on the other side. Your vitamin D levels are essential for your immune. You want to turn your body, if you got cancer, you want to turn your body into a fighting machine. You want to be able to fight. And here's another thing, okay? Here's another thing I would do. I'd be on broad spectrum probiotics. Why is that? Because again, 80% of your immune system is found in your gut. Okay? 80% of your immune system is found in your gut. You want those probiotics. You want those bacteria to be on your side. Those friendly bacteria, probiotics means friendly bacteria. When they are supercharged, here's a couple of things that maybe you've never heard. Do you know, somebody said the other day that probiotics hinder antibiotics. No, they don't. They actually the opposite. Probiotics help. If you have to take an antibiotic, probiotics actually help your body to absorb that antibiotic even more, to use it. So you will need less of it. That's been proven with probiotics. Here's another thing. Do you know, and it bothers me because I know a lot of oncologists say, I don't want you on any supplements. You mean you wouldn't let me, doc, take high DHA? Did you see the studies on high DHA? Nope, I don't want you taking that. It might interfere with the chemotherapy. I've had oncologists say that to me when I was trying to advise patients. Even though they were going through chemotherapy and radiation, I said it's only going to help them. I showed them studies where the probiotics helped chemotherapy to be more targeted, to be more effective. Those bacteria, my friend, have a brain. They have their own DNA. I mean, they're intelligent. And they really help in that area. Plus, if you've got to take chemotherapy or whatever, you're going to get a major leaky gut. And doctors don't think about that, but I do. Because I know not only your immune system, but you don't want those toxins going into your bloodstream. And probiotics will tighten up the gut-blood barrier. You need to regenerate that barrier, guys. So that's what I'm saying. You know, when it comes to, doing everything you can to put things on your side. Lay off, like, one of the most important things, proven, no sugar. None. Nada. Zero. Okay, you can have a little bit of berries. I like blueberries. I like raspberries. I like strawberries. I don't like bananas. Yes, I do, but I don't. Do you know what I mean? I like the taste of bananas, but you never want to have a banana if you've got cancer. No sugar, but you can have a few berries. I like berries, like in Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie. Yeah, you can have a few. They're powerful antioxidants, but not much. You don't want to feed those renegade cells. You just don't want to do it. Okay? So, Those are the things that I would do. Those are the things that I would do. Okay? In terms of if someone gave me the bad news, and what did I tell you the other day? Like an incredible statistic, you can hardly believe it, that 1 out of 2 people on the planet, listen to this, 1 out of 2 people are going to get the diagnosis in their lifetime that they have cancer of some form. 1 out of 2. When someone tells you we're winning the war on cancer, run. They're lying to you. When they're trying to raise money for cancer research, it bothers me. Okay? I remember one young lady coming to our door, and, raising money, and God bless them, and they mean it. Who doesn't want to beat cancer, right? Put your hand up if you don't want to beat cancer. Everybody wants to beat cancer. But I'm not big on giving money. This is several years ago, a young lady came to my door and, she said, I'm here for, cancer research. I said, well, can I give you some advice first? Because I'm not giving you no money. And I told her why. I said, first of all, 90% of it or more, almost 95% of it, goes for marketing and salaries. I said, this doesn't go towards research. Less than 10%. I said, I looked at their books. You can go, because the Canadian Cancer Society, if you want, you can go look at their books. They're a charitable foundation. They have to have their books every year. You can get to look at them. You look and see where the money goes. But the other thing I said, we're not winning the war on cancer. We're losing the war. She said, what? I said, it's gotten worse. I said, when I graduated in 1974, 1 out of 20 women got breast cancer. Today it's 1 out of 6, 1 out of 7 at the most. Prostate cancer is 1 out of 4 men. Half the population will be given the diagnosis of cancer in their lifetime. We're not winning the war, we're losing the war. Anyway, hate to get too excited, but that's the truth. Anyways, guys, shorter one today. Got another one coming tomorrow, okay? Looking forward to that. Remember, Friday is question and answer Friday. Send your questions in. We love Fridays. We really do. Oh, you know what? I got some questions I still haven't answered from Friday. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. I'll look at it. Okay, guys. Love you dearly, and we'll talk to you soon.